You are in a conversation or a meeting and need to start writing together. In person, you might be able to grab a piece of paper and a pen, or if you have a whiteboard pen handy and a smooth surface, just start writing. But what about an online meeting? Where is a place that you can quickly write down some ideas, notes, or a list together? It's too slow to start and find a document, or make sure that it's shared with people on the call and attach it to the conversation so everyone can read and contribute. Everyone in the chat has access to the chat. What if you could start collaborating there? Live components for Microsoft Teams chat. Collaboration begins in the conversation you are in. Add a live component to a Teams chat to collaborate in real time. Everyone in the chat can start contributing immediately. Here's how it works. Add a live component to a blank message. Start from a template, a paragraph, lists, a table. Templates get you collaborating quickly while ideas are flowing. Add some content to get people started. Choose who can edit the live component using familiar permissions. When you're ready, send the live component link to start collaborating. Members of the chat can co-author together right in the chat. When you need to loop in more people to collaborate, sharing live components will feel familiar. Use the same sharing choices that you use for files. Choose who the sharing link will work for. Copy the link and permissions to share the live component. Start a new chat or choose an existing one. Paste the live component link into a blank message. And then let the live co-authoring and collaboration continue, with everyone in sync and in the flow of working together. Keep an eye out for the live component icon coming to Teams chat soon. So what did you think of that? Now that was a quick video to help promote this new feature for live components in Microsoft Teams chat. I'm going to take you through how to create a news page that looks much like this. I've created much of the wording and images to try and help outline how to use this new feature when it arrives. It's about creating awareness and making people aware of what's coming. Now I know at this stage the feature is in limited preview, and so it's not available to everyone, so there is some content that's missing, but we'll go ahead and start creating the content for this page. So to begin with, we will use the course content, which if you're watching this from YouTube, then use the link below to check out that course. If you're on the course right now and you're checking this out, then these are the steps to follow. Within the course, I have a page or a module which you can start called Create the News Page, and there are some resources available on that page. So there is a Word document which contains all the verbiage and the layout and some instructions about how to use it. And there's also a zip file for the images that you're going to put on that page. So let's quickly download those. We have a document and we have a zip file. So we'll see those in our, here we go, in our downloads folder. So we've downloaded those items. We're going to now go over to our communication site, which is where we create the page. And if you have not got a communication site as well, there's another link in the description about how to set that up. Quite an extensive video and course, but it steps you through if you're not familiar with how to follow these steps to create a communication site to talk about the way we work and communicate that and discuss it and define it. So on with the creation of this news page. We have the communication site, and to create a news article, we're going to create a new post. But first of all, we'll open up this Word document to follow it along. There we go. So it's our live components in Microsoft Teams chat. So various different guidance around how to use the guide. I'm just going to take you through quickly and show you in real time how to put this together. So this Word document, which we'll go back to the version I'm going to upload, is this one, is the instructions we'll start off with by creating that web page or that news post. So we'll jump into there, create the news post, and we'll set up the format for the page. and we'll also give it a title of Live Components in Microsoft Teams. So let's go through some of those first steps. We're on the communication site. We'll just close that downloads bar. News post. We'll choose the blank template, and we're going to modify that pretty quickly. So we'll just make this layout a plain layout so that we're not trying to create an image at the header there. I've copied in the name of the page that I want to give it, so I'll just paste it in. And so I've got my layout and I've got the page title. Now our next steps are to start creating some of the sections and the content on the page. And if we go back to our Word document, we have got a section. And so the way I'm using this Word document is it's a table and it shows you the layout, and it also shows you what to put in that content there. So this is a 1/3 right section layout, and I'm not using any background shading. And I'm going to copy this text and put it into the text web part, and I'll also put in the Microsoft Stream web part for later when we upload the video. So we'll go to our existing section. All new pages will always have a new section, and we can change the section layout and go into a 1/3 left. And that allows me to put the text here and the stream video over onto the right. So we're going to copy and paste the content from our Word document here. And try to design this so that copying and pasting will actually end up with the format that I intend for this page. So that's our intro text. We're going to now search for that new web part, and we'll put a placeholder there for the stream web part. So we're not going to configure it right now, just to say that it's going to be a single video, and we'll just leave that blank for now and come back later when we can configure that. We're on to our next section, which is where we start the content, and this is going to be a 2-column section. So we'll add that new section and we'll have some text that we can copy and paste across. Now the new section, if we go to the bottom of our current section and click the 2 columns layout, now we've got 2 columns. And when we create this layout, we don't have a text box automatically created for us, so we will add our text here. We're going to do the same on the other side. We'll add another text box there. So in this first text box, clicking back to our Word document, we're going to take everything from this title right through to this text here. And this should bring across our formatting as well, including the heading styles that we're using. So I've copied that and we'll paste it across here. So let's just have a quick check. Yep, so everywhere where I've used a carriage return, a new line, it has created a new paragraph. Good. And what we will do is we'll also use the animated GIF that I have just below this column here. So we'll just go into our zip folder or zip file, which I'd already downloaded beforehand, and you unzip it, and there is a live component GIF that's there. So we'll go into that first column and we'll add an image web part, and we'll upload that web part from our downloads folder. So here we are in downloads, and there's the unzipped folder, and we'll choose the zip file, or rather the GIF file. So that we'll add that image. Okay, and that's going to do its thing in the background, upload it and get it ready to use. While that's happening, we'll go up to our second column, and this is where we're going to copy just the introduction text about how to prepare. We'll detail that a bit further down in another section. So that's how to prepare, and we'll go back to our column there. There we go. So how do you prepare? We've done that, and we're going to also put another image in here, which just gives you a view of what to look out for when the feature arrives, the live components feature in chat. So that is our other file, which was in the zip folder, and we're going to upload that from there. And I've just given a slight angle on it using a PNG, so it's transparent as well. for that background, so it just gives it a bit of perspective as we go. So we've got reasonably balanced 2 columns there. We're on to our next section, which is going to be, where's our Word document? It's a single column, and we're going to use some background shading. And the idea here is that we're breaking up these sections so that it's easier to see. Here's what to do with your first experience when this feature arrives. So you'll notice that it is a dark shaded or strong shaded column or background, and we'll copy that text. Let's just get ahead of ourselves a bit and copy this text already while we're on the page. We'll copy that, and now let's go over and create the section. So new section, 1 column. We'll edit the section so that we can choose the strong background shading. We'll add the web part, a text web part, and because I've copied the format, and there we go, copy and paste, and it all fits nicely. So that's a nice section to break the content. Let's go back to our next section to create, which is going to be the instructional content about what to look out for and some things to try in that first experience. We're going to copy everything right down to the bottom paragraph in that cell of the table, and we'll go back to our page. So we add a text web part below, or rather, we're going to add a new section. This is going to be a section that is 1 column, and we're not going to shade this one. And within that column, we'll just add 1 text box to begin with, and paste the content in there. So we have our description about how to add a live paragraph as a starting experience for using live components, and some guidance around how to use the rich formatting texts. You can also do a few things like adding mentions, dates, images, and comments. So these are limited things we don't know and we haven't experienced yet. Some of the lucky few have, but I'm just working with what we have access to at this stage and what we know from demonstration videos. Right, so we have that content for what to do in our first experience. Now the next section we're going to create is about encouraging people to develop the new habits of using live components and trying a few more things out after that first experience. So these are good steps to try and follow when you're trying to develop and encourage user adoption of this new feature. So it's a new section, and it's going to be another one of those header sections, or ones that we're using to break the content. So we're going to create that new single column and use dark shading or strong shading, and use a text box, paste it in, simple section. Right, now the content for these following sections, we don't have images yet that are public and available. So what I have done is I've created the text that you would be able to drop in there and get people to start thinking about things, but we won't be able to give you the images until they are available and publicly GA. So this is going to be a series of 2 column sections so that we can put the text on one side and the image on the other side once those are available. And I'll make those images available on the same course. Again, link in the description to find that, so that you can go back to it, grab those images, and any other updated videos, other things that I'm exploring to try and help people understand how to use this great new feature. So on with the show, let's copy this content. Live list, right, so this is one of the first features that you can try out. There's a number of different ways to use these lists and different templates. Let's just add that single column section, or rather, it's going to be a 2 column section. I should have chosen it to begin with. So we've got 2 columns. We'll add our text box, text web part, copy and paste it into there. So now you look at bulleted lists, numbered lists, which is what we're actually using here in the web part, a checklist that you can tick and cross things off, and task lists, which is a bit more like a specialized table, and you'll see that once it becomes available. Now on the right hand side, we will add an image web part, which we'll just use as a placeholder. I'm not going to choose an image at this stage. I'm just going to click cancel, and now we've got a placeholder there that we can use to create that image when it's available. We'll add another 2 column section. So this other thing that people will be able to try, let's go back to our Word document, is a live agenda. So if we copy right down there to that content, the live agenda is quite an interesting one, and it's going to play a part too when we start to use a live components version of OneNote, that you can include the agenda in the meeting invite, and it'll be able to be edited and updated and co-authored from there. But if you want to create an agenda for the discussion or the chat or the meeting, then you can use a live component in Teams chat. So we've got our content there in the text box. We'll add an image placeholder as well. Again, it's an image web part, and we'll click cancel because we're not uploading the image yet. And we'll create our last column here for other things that we can try. Again, I should have created 2 columns. We'll just choose that again. Go back to our Word documents, and we'll choose the content to just describe the live table. And the live table, let's add that web part. Live tables are probably the most versatile way of using live components in Teams chat. Lots of different ways to add content in there. So it's not just text, images, you can mention people, you can add dates, but you're able to drag certain things around in those columns, and you can change the order. So that's why I like the versatility of a table, because I can change the order of columns and rows and shift things around. So that's our live table. Looking forward to seeing that as it becomes available. We'll go and put another image placeholder, adding the image web part and clicking cancel because we're not uploading anything. And the last column is going to be, last 2 sections rather, are going to be, again, placeholders. So this one, it is just a section for breaking up and using as a header. So we'll choose a single column, use the strong formatting, go into our text box and paste that content. And then below that, we'll add another single column. And what's going to go here, we'll put some text there later on when the feature becomes available. But when Microsoft gets around to publishing the support documentation for this, I have a method for embedding that support documentation. So the great thing about this, just like Microsoft 365 Learning Pathways, you can embed that content into the web page, and it will always be up to date, based on what Microsoft is publishing. So we're just going to, for now, add a web part here, and we'll just type the word embed, and we'll use this as a placeholder. Again, we're not going to drop any text in here yet. That will be the embed code, and we'll just close off that web part. Right, so we have our page. I'm not a big fan of using the SharePoint comments. It's over to you whether you want to turn them on or off. I usually turn them off. I like to use an embedded YAML web part to encourage community conversation, but we'll loop that in a bit later in another course. So that's our page. Let's go back up to the top and we'll post this news. You could save it as a draft. I'm just going to post it because I want to show you what it does look like. There we go, so all sorts of content there, and there's some spaces for placeholders as well. The next step we're going to go through is this second page in the course, which is all about downloading the promotional video that you saw earlier. So this is about downloading the video, which it is playing through, right? Because that's how these courses work on this awesome platform. You'll be able to download this file, so let's go and do that. At the bottom of the video, I've marked it as downloadable, and I've also attached a thumbnail that you can use. So we'll download that file, the video file, and we'll also download the thumbnail. Now, the thing about the video file, we're going to upload it to Microsoft Stream, and Microsoft Stream in its classic form as it currently is still a great platform to use to upload and share and embed videos. We know that in the future the platform is going to change, and there's going to be a way to bring videos across or embed them into pages directly from SharePoint. So when we upload our files, then they're going to be in SharePoint, and we'll use an updated web part to put those in. But for now, the file viewer web part's not that great. I want to use the Stream one so I can add a thumbnail and get some benefits there. So there's our MP4 file which you can use, and because you've subscribed to the course, again, link in the description, then you are able to download this promotional video and use it for yourself. We'll also download the thumbnail. So again, those two things are in our downloads folder. There they are, 1 and 2, right. So over to our Stream, Microsoft Stream. You know how to open that up. If you don't, then I'm sure there's a course out there about how to do it. Find it in the menu. There it is. You have to have a channel that you have permission to upload to, and I recommend that an IT department has a channel to share videos just for awareness of what's coming and what's changing. Maybe you do that via a recording or something like that, but I've created one which I call, let's go into channels here, just for demonstration purposes, M365 What's New. So this is a channel which is available to the whole organization. I don't have to do anything special with permissions to share these videos. I know that when I embed that video in the page, that everyone will be able to view it. So that's the example of what I've done earlier. We're going to do the same thing again, just to step through some of those motions. We will drag the video over to Stream, and that begins to upload. Now it's going to pick up the file name of what I have named the file, but what I have said in the course here is that just name that video. Where is it here? I should bold this text here. Live component in Microsoft Teams chat. All right, so we'll go back over to here and we'll paste that in as the name of the video. I've also in the course given you just a brief description text. Now, feel free to change some of the text there and make it your own. That's the point of this done for you resource. It's about giving you a starting point, and then you can change the language around that to fit your organization. But it's a starting point, and it should save you some time. So I've used that description, and that's continuing to upload. I think we can still upload a thumbnail even though the video is still uploading. So let's try that. We'll click the plus sign in Stream and we'll go over to our downloads folder. We've downloaded the thumbnail, open that up, and tickety, tickety, tick, boom, there it is. Okay, so image is uploaded. The video is now processing. Right, so we'll leave it to do its thing. It's not going to take too long because these videos are not long. They are in HD, so 1080p. But the point is to try and create something of a buzz video, something that is quick and short, gets people's interest, introduces a few concepts about how this new feature will work. And you'll notice that from this particular video, I have leveraged some of the footage that Microsoft had created and is shared with the community, with the public. So I've referenced that in the video too to make sure that it's their stuff, right? It's their content. Processing. Right, well, we know how to do this. I'm going to go and use the video that I prepared earlier to show you how to embed that into that web part. So let's go back to our page so we don't have to keep you waiting. We'll edit that page, and now we'll go to this web part and edit the Stream web part. Right, so I've hovered over the web part and clicked the pencil, and we're still set it to single video. So we need the link to the video that we want to play. Is this one finished yet? Close. I'm going to go back to, let's go back over here to Stream and unpin and open it in a new tab so we don't have to make you wait. And we'll go back and find our video that I had uploaded earlier. Actually, there it is there in the carousel. So there's our thumbnail as well. It's also transcribed the text, which is kind of nice. Hopefully all of these features will not take too long to come through in the new Stream and its experience. But this is the link that we can grab. I don't know if we need that list equals trending, but that's fine. It's just showing the source. You can leave that off the URL if you want. And we're back to our modern web page, and we could just remove that list equals trending and question mark off the end, just so we've just got a nice pure link there that goes through to the video. Thumbnail, nice, good. Okay, and you don't get that when you use the file viewer and you're uploading the and sharing the video from the SharePoint site, so that's one of the things that I like about it. And there's our video. All right, so let's now update that news. Now you're going to see when I go back to the home page that there's a duplicate page because we just created it again. I'd started out with an example and now we've got two. So here's my original, which I created 3 days ago, and there's one that we created just 7 minutes ago. So it's just a quick job. I have tried to give some thought as to how the content comes across, making it easier for you to copy and paste out of the Word documents. Again, I just want to restate that it is a starting point. These are done for you resources that you can take and change a bit of the wording, add some other things to it as well that make it relevant to the way that you talk to people and make people aware of features as they come. But looking forward to live components in Microsoft Teams chat, and hopefully you found this useful. If you've been viewing this on YouTube, then you know what to do and you know where to find me. Subscribe, like, and give this some attention so that others can find it. If you viewed this video on my course, then congratulations, you've just created the page. I recommend from that point, you've got a page, and now what you want to do is link to it. So take some of that text, maybe the intro text from the page, and drop it into an email and link off to say click to show more details. Put it into the usual templates that you have for your IT communications and share that out. And even when you're into this page, actually we'll go back to the other example because it's been around for a bit longer. You've got options here to promote it, right? So you've got, you can email it, send it to Yammer, save it as a page template if you want to. You can send it directly to email and Yammer using those options there, and you might want to see the engagement of that page. So as the time continues and you see people engaging with it, you can see page viewers and views and average time spent on the page and various different analytics around that. So good to see the engagement and just getting an idea about how many people might be aware of this feature that you've just promoted. That is Modern Workplace Change and about promoting a feature. Hopefully you do find this useful and the way that I'm delivering this content. Again, if you have found it useful, then do give this a thumbs up and subscribe while you're here. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.